I'm John Shumway. Well, it is the Monday after the big agreement is reached between the Steelers and the Oakland Raiders to send Antonio Brown to the Raiders. And the reaction has been thick, to say the least, over the last 24 hours or so. A lot of folks basically, in fact, I have a woman in one of my stories today saying, don't let the door hit you in the butt. Well, a lot of Steelers fans are sorry to see Antonio go, on one hand, from his football playing ability. But on the other hand, glad to see him go because they're tired of all the drama. They're tired of the Le'Veon Bell drama and the Antonio Brown drama. They want the drama to be the Pittsburgh Steelers and the way they play football on the field, not all the stuff that has been going on off the field. I've listened to the callers coming into the fan today, and I also talked to fans out on the street. And generally speaking, nobody's happy that Antonio Brown's gone. He is one of the most elite, if not the best, wide receiver in the National Football League. And now he's going to be wearing the dreaded black and silver of the Oakland Raiders. But he at least will be gone, and the drama will be gone from the Pittsburgh Steelers. And in doing the story today, I went out and had a chat with two-time Super Bowl Steeler Chris Hoke. And Chris says that there will be some reaction in the Steelers locker room. No doubt, because, I mean, these guys were playing with two of the best in the game, and now they're both gone. And he said they're not going to be happy about that for a while, but they'll get over it, and they'll get over it quickly, and then get down to the business of playing football for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He also says look for some changes to happen in that locker room. There's been a lot of talk about who was in control of the locker room, the inmates running the asylum, and a lot of different terms that you want to use for it. But the general consensus is that Mike Tomlin needs to get control of that locker room. And Chris Hoke says that Mike Tomlin is the type of guy who will do just that. He sees the handwriting on the wall as far as the concerns and complaints, and that he will step up and make some changes over this offseason and as the Steelers come back together for the 2019 season. I also talked to Ralph Cindrich, who is a super agent who has represented some greats throughout the years as they for their contracts in the National Football League. And his take on all this is very interesting. Number one, he believes that in the day of Dan Rooney, this wouldn't have happened, that this all would have been nipped in the bud a long time before it got this far. You know, you can make those kind of assumptions. Ralph seems to feel very strongly about that. But he and Chris Hoke also believe that this is a terrible precedent that has been set by Antonio Brown. That you can basically throw a fit, throw a lot of accusations around, embarrass your team to the point where they just want to get rid of you and get out from under a couple of years of NFL contract and go play for somebody else. And in the process, basically choose who you're going to go play for. I mean, because remember, a couple of days ago, we were talking about a deal with the Buffalo Bills. And Antonio made it very clear, I'm not playing in Buffalo. And that deal went down the tubes because Buffalo's not going to make an agreement for a player who's not going to show up and play. And so that is a real concern that both Cindrich and Hoke expressed, that this does set a really bad precedent. So coming up tonight, we'll have more on our 6 o'clock news in just a little bit. As you hear from some of the fans talking about Antonio, his departure, you'll hear, of course, from Hoke and Cindrich as well. And as Hoke says, now they're ready to move on past the drama and get back to Steeler football. And we'll see what happens. It's going to be an interesting couple of weeks. Of course, the deal isn't official until the NFL season, New Year, begins at 4 o'clock this coming Wednesday. It's been an interesting day looking into this story and talking to the fans and the folks about Antonio Brown's departure. One of the best in the games, and no longer is he going to be wearing a Pittsburgh Steelers uniform. I'll see you on KDKA-TV News.